so insane man, fun talk, like, so I'm thinking about, well, really I'm thinking about like compatibility, as I said earlier, Nikki. And for me, I'm always all over the place, you know that. And I kind of like, I remember all the people who have done interesting things in life, like, you know, letting people like defy the whole sanctioned government and basically got persecuted because they wanted to understand things beyond this planet. The Inquisitions are crazy. Like, they just slaughter people because the religious beliefs and you don't want to believe this man or thing. I don't know if that's either hand or there, but I do know things that you know about, which is forensic psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of like Maslow's hierarchy and how it can apply. And like I told you, like I was walking with Jen and different countries, like you don't really necessarily require it daily, but America has it as one of their, you know, they're changing it now too, the pyramid. Other countries don't even have a pyramid, they have like a circle or a graph. Like Japan has like a lot of fish, a bigger amount, and I don't know, other countries have rice and et cetera, et cetera. But I kind of wanted to talk about, like, so you know how you sent me that, the Pennsylvania experiment in the prison, the Norwegian American prison experiment. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Mainly Norwegian, it is.
Well, first of all, that's me. Like, how does that? Why do they have less murder rate or less murder in general? I don't know. Like, how does that work better? I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, a lot of studies have gone into it that shows that our more Western idea of being punished for committing crimes actually really does not result in rehabilitation or beneficial change. It really just impacts negatively, and that always the focus is on punishment rather than changing for good and rehabilitation. And recently in forensic psychology, there has been big developments in the importance of positive psychology in prisons and in any form of kind of therapy, of where you need to actually focus on the good things, focus on the good aspects of a person and things they've achieved rather than constantly berating them for the bad they did. And the Norwegian prison system very much does that. It solely puts the focus on rehabilitation and treating them still as human beings. And education, building on skills so that when they come out, they actually are prepared and they have the skills and the proper, coping mechanisms in order to be able to find a job and reintegrate into society and be confident with it.
Yeah. I really think, this might sound like biased from a personal perspective, but like even taking out of it, vengeance is a very strong, powerful feeling, sentiment. And like an eye for an eye has always been human's resolution a lot of times. And it makes sense because, first of all, I guess it's instinctual. But even if it's not, what I'm saying is this feels like severe punishment. 5-10 years for almost any crime should be the max, because if you're going to give someone life for taking a life, I mean, you're not really helping your society, because you have to use tons of money you could use otherwise to help the world in your country, basically withering away this man just for the sake of withering away. Why not execute him, to be honest? But that's stupid in itself, because who knows what could come from this man's life. I also think of like people use different things like the chain gang. Like you could find an alien skull with that people digging, but it's also just like with this experiment, it's opening a door. Sometimes that's all you need, just to get your foot in the door. Like I agree. It's really just the wrong methodology has been applied for so long. It takes someone with, I guess, enough money and enough influence to just completely upend this big tree that has such deep roots. Really, the penal institution that we have.
Yeah. Because our main focus is on punishment. There is not enough funding or resources for the focus on rehabilitation. People tend to focus on this person did a bad thing, they need to be punished for it, rather than, okay, well, why did this person commit this crime? Because the huge majority of people have that adverse childhood effects or have some form of mental difficulty, disorder. First of all, putting them in prison and punishment is not treating that. It's not addressing that. It's just exacerbating it and making it worse.
Exacerbating it, yeah. And I was going to say, when I think of the law, you're an eye for an eye in me. Now, the person you're eye for an eye in, Mr. Judge, Policeman, Society, right? I'm the one who's the monster who has been, whatever. You look at me as the monster, but look, what made that person become the monster? So you're telling society you're going to punish someone who basically goes out and tries to either survive in your eyes and committed crimes, or he goes out and gets revenge because of the things that happened to him. You're going to give him your vengeance, and you think that all he's known is vengeance his whole life. He's just not going to want to get out of, of course. And then the funny thing is, then they flip it on and be like, oh, you're just acting, or you're just facility going to all these groups of good time. No shit. Like, if you gave me job opportunities, if you actually gave me a reason, you gave me 15 years for holding a firearm. And this is whatever it may be. The example, the punishment and the system that's in place is just way too severe. And really, it's like you're over-exaggerating the response required. Obviously, if someone needs punishment, because punishment wouldn't exist if it wasn't required or, attributable to good. Like the yin and yang type thing, it wouldn't be good without bad, that is not good.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the entire system needs to be completely rewritten.
People just keep talking about it for what, decades, it seems like now,
Mm-hmm.
But,
the entire system needs to be rewritten with a focus on treatment and rehabilitation, not on punishment. But people will never do that because it's how it's been for so long. And people are scared of that massive amount of change. Yes, you're going to have people that you can't treat. There are going to be people that will never be safe to be reintegrated into society. Certain sex offenders, their certain behaviors, they will never change. For example, narcissists, psychopaths. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's true. And I hate skinheads, I hate weirdos and all that other shit. You know this. But even so, they get way less time than murderers and other shit. If anything, sometimes they just get... So that if that's the case it's going to be, someone's older brother will take care of it. Whatever. Well, this sounds harsh, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to bother the guy. You can just kick his ass. And if it's going to keep happening, just like anything in life, it's why keep wasting all the resources? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, it's at 11, and this has been a good, focus, conversation, and if things like this were actually, I guess, noticed and done, the required actual things, again, upend it and put a different punishment, put a different timing and more treatment, more job opportunity, and actually really the whole sex offense thing and the whole other thing that's not so understandable to penalize better. But I'm past that right now. And I guess the questions really are who, what, and how to be done. And those are answerable. So thank you. And anyone, this is thoughts, whatever people say, comments, questions, all that shit. Yeah, this is has been a good job. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. You only need to look at recidivism rates to see there is a problem.
Yeah, rates and stuff. I always have issues with that. All right, well,